Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session 3 of Leveraging LinkedIn. Today, I'm going to talk about how to use LinkedIn for professional development. So, that's mostly about how to use groups, how to use the follow function, and then how to use LinkedIn Learning. So, to start with, I wanted to talk about how the most important thing on social media is really to develop a positive view of yourself. Um, and that includes your brand. So you're building a brand on social media and you need to be aware of that. So really important that you be proactive and that you engage. So engaging with others, your connections, all of those sorts of things. um, you want to make sure that you're commenting on posts and doing so professionally. um, Making sure that you're not intentionally stirring the pot and then not staying around for the rest of the conversation. So you've got to use solid information and resources when you do that. You need to think through things before posting them, because once it goes out there, it's never coming back, despite the fact that you might be able to delete a comment or a post. Um, and again, just keeping that conversation going as it's appropriate. So you definitely don't want to make a mistake or stir things up on LinkedIn, because it can affect your professional reputation. One thing I wanted to note is that you can comment and mention somebody. So I just wanted to point out right here that Kathy Madej, who's someone I've worked with professionally, she mentioned Gary. And the way she did that was she put at, and then she started typing his name. I don't know Gary, so he won't come up, but um, I can click on her name here, and then it will notify her that I mentioned her in a comment. So that's one way that you can interact and make sure that people definitely see that. Um, you can also save posts to comment on them later. So let's see what I've got in new posts here. All right. So let's say that I want to read this. I want to read Gary's post, this post right here later, or maybe I want to respond or I want to share it. Um, Whatever it is, I want to save that. And if you see these three dots right here, if I click on them, I can save it for later. But now, where did it go? If this box is still up, you can look at view all. But chances are you're going to come back later. And it is found on the left pane in this box right here. This box right here under my items. And if you go to save posts, that's where they will be. Anything as far as posts and articles will be there. Okay. So if I want to take it off because now I've dealt with it, I can unsave. You'll also notice that I can get to my LinkedIn Learning saved courses here too. I'll probably forget that later, so I want to cover that now. Okay. As far as the follow function goes, we can see an example of that here. So I can follow Gary. I don't know him. I'm not really connected to him. Um, the only reason this is coming up in my feed is because I am connected to Kathy, and she commented on his post here. So I can go ahead and follow Gary. It allows me to see his posts and his articles on my homepage or my feed without being connected to him. Okay, so I'm not in his network per se. Um, I'm just following what he puts out there. So they don't see your posts. What would be a reason you might want to follow? Um, you can reach a larger audience by allowing others to follow your activity and read what you share. But your advantage to following other people is you can get access to the good things that they're putting out there without having to have that one-on-one connection. Um, I follow, famous people like Bill Gates, Ariana Huffington, Simon Sinek. Um, there are a couple of Forbes authors that I follow that often put blog posts and essays and articles out about the changing workplace. I'm very interested in all of those sorts of things. Um, Again, I don't know them personally, but I am following them. Um, One of the huge advantages I get is I get announcements about conferences, about presentations, free webinar presentations, other media, cutting edge trends, other connections, and things like that. And the other thing is, you look pretty with it if you can share their posts, if you can comment, and so on and so forth. But you always want to make sure that you're giving them credit. You don't ever want to give the impression that you're like stealing or co opting somebody else's material. Um, I do want to talk about the way that you can make sure that you are open for others to follow you. And I wrote this down so I wouldn't mess it up here. So you're going to go to your profile, which is there. You're going to go to settings and profile, or settings and privacy under your profile. And it's going to chug a little bit. And then you want to go to visibility of LinkedIn activity. I guess it's visibility here. Visibility of LinkedIn activity. And then right here, I got to move the window. Followers. You can click change. Choose who can follow you and who can see your public updates. And it lets you know that choosing everyone lets people outside the network follow your public updates. Notice that if you change this, you lose any out of network followers. So just keep in mind that when you make a change, that impacts who can see you and who can't. So I'm going to just leave it to everyone on LinkedIn. Again, I'm sharing all professional stuff. I'm super happy if people connect with me as long as they're not selling anything. So I'm just going to leave it be there. So following has been something where, again, I'm getting a lot of advantage out of that as a professional, because I'm gaining a lot of access to information that I may not have access to before just from my network. So really paying attention to, thought leaders, and you can definitely, talk to your professors and see who some of the leaders in your field might be that you haven't already talked about through your studies or your courses. So that's a good way to go about it. A couple other things that I might not have made clear, but that are important kind of on the professional development side. I might not have talked about them in my previous 2 LinkedIn sessions. In the search bar, which is right up here, you can go ahead and type in a topic to see the people who have recently posted about that topic. So you can see I was testing things yesterday to see what might come up. If I type in art therapy, you could see people who are somewhat closely related to, these are coming off of my profile since we're looking at my profile. Colleges and universities are going to come up first, obviously. University of Wisconsin Superior is going to come up next. Other things are going to come up after that. Jobs will come up. Companies will come up. And groups will come up. So this is where all of the postings about this topic are coming up. And then we're back to, more people. And then you can further filter, you can see more people results, all of those sorts of things. So typing in just a topic can really get you to a lot of different things. So again, people, groups, jobs, all of that sort of stuff. You can also follow hashtags to get recent posts. So if I go back to the home page and I go down the left column, you can see my followed hashtags. So I follow hashtag higher education. And that means that anytime anyone tags that, it pops into my feed, but I can also click on this and I can see what's going on. You can see it here, then I'm following it and I get literally a feed of hashtag higher education. But if I go into the search bar here, we'll just stick with art therapy. I think I should have stayed with the I should have stayed in that last window. Maybe. Oh no, here it is, right. So here's the hashtag right here. So this person's writing about a short film they got into Indie Fest, and I could see more about what that's like. An interesting project this person's worked on. Um, if you're someone who's interested in art therapy and how it impacts elders suffering from dementia and Alzheimer's, you probably want to be in on that post. Here's the hashtag. But it might also give you some ideas of other hashtags to follow here as well. And certainly I could follow more hashtags too, but I tend to be pretty active on LinkedIn and seeking things out, so I find it doesn't actually help me, but for others it might. It's one of those work smarter, not harder tips that I have for LinkedIn. So let's talk about groups. I'm just going to go back to my main screen here, home screen. To get to groups, it's on the groups that you're in is on the left side. Let me go out of this. It's on the left side here on your home page. These are the ones that I'm already a part of right here. But it's also under this work icon, this work tile, and then you click on groups. And it will show you what groups you're a part of. Okay. Shows that I'm an owner of the group. You can create a group. I can see which groups I've requested to be in, those sorts of things. And you can see that a lot of it's higher ed and so on and so forth, because that's pretty much what I do. A lot of career services, and this is one of my alumni universities career services page. Um, all of those things are things that tie to me in some way, shape, or form. Posts from these groups are coming into my feed, but I can also, click on this. Just let it open up here, and I can see the things that they have been posting. One advantage of groups is that not only am I seeing cutting edge trends and so on and so forth in my field, I'm also learning about jobs. I can make connections to people in these groups. So would be pretty easy for me to reach out to, let's say Ernest here, and say, hi Ernest, we're in the Walden career services groups. I'd love to connect with you. So that's a pretty easy way for me to build that out. You might learn about presentations, webinars, all of those things. The same thing as following somebody. The other benefit to groups is that you can get searched out by recruiters and employers for groups. So that has happened before to students that I've worked with, and that's really been a way for them to tap into that hidden job market. Let's see. So I think I mentioned too that some groups you have to request to join. So that's what this requested is about. So go ahead and do that. You might have to answer a few questions. You can search from the homepage for groups. You just have to make sure that it comes up as a group page. So if I type in art therapy, see here how it's groups right here. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Then all of the groups come up, or many of the groups will come up. Okay. So these groups, if you're interested in art therapy, certain sectors of it, this would be the place to look, right? So you can go in. Excuse my hiccups. You have to request to join here. It tells you about the group. There are some people from University of Wisconsin Superior in here. This is pulling from my profile, by the way, the things in my profile. Then it will show you related groups. You won't be able to see any of their posts until you are a part of the group. But there's a benefit, right, to being able to see other groups that are related and so on and so forth, because it helps you then gather more information. You can read and respond to posts. You can share if they're appropriate or if they have the share function turned on. I encourage you to spend time reading posts in your groups. So if you have, two groups, spend a minute in each group once a week, seeing what the top posts are. Um, and again, you can find your groups that you belong to on the left hand side. So again, like this is another way to get free professional development. These folks are posting questions, they're posting solutions, they're posting big ideas, conferences, presentations, jobs, all sorts of different things. And remember, it's another way for you to access that hidden job market, um, of which 80% of the jobs that are open out there are on that hidden job market. And remember, your access point is going to be connections. Okay, so it's really important to be involved in groups. And again, all those same like professional communication pieces that we talked about at the very beginning of this session about making sure that you're communicating appropriately and using information and strong resources and not sort of like fading into the bushes. Um, Making sure you're carrying through that conversation. All of that stands in groups as well. So I think I'm going to go to LinkedIn Learning here. I got to get rid of some tabs so that I can. I'm just going to go to our website and I'm going to go to the campus logins. So campus logins is up here if you've never used it before. So I can either click on that or I can click on more. And we're just going to pop on down to LinkedIn Learning. For those of you who knew lynda.com, this is the new version of Lynda. LinkedIn Learning bought it out about 2 years ago now, year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. So all the catalogs from LinkedIn and Lynda have been joined together. So you're just going to use your UWS login info. This is the main page, kind of the home page that you're going to land on. Moving across the top, you've got browse here, so you can, browse through some kind of basic things, business topics, all topics. I don't find this to be super helpful, to be honest. You can also search through things here, so you can kind of see that I've been going through a couple different things to help students out, but we'll just stick with this theme of art therapy that I started with before. These are probably a little bit more tangential, but there may be some things where we're crossing over into multidisciplinary. One thing that I thought was really interesting was storytelling for designers. The other thing I wanted to point out here was you can tell, so this is a course, and I was just looking quick to see some of these are videos and others are the full-blown course. So you can find shorter things and longer things and so on and so forth. And I believe you can sort on that, right? So you can sort courses, the whole course, the video, or if there's a learning path. So sometimes you'll see where it says underneath it, like learning path, something, something. Probably can't find one here because that would be my luck as I'm live. Oh, no, never mind. That's just a course too. So the other things that are across the top, home just takes you back to that beginning page. My learning, this is everything that I've started or that I've saved, putting things in collections to look at, any content from my organization. I don't have anything from University of Wisconsin Superior. I've completed 3 courses, and I do have the skill turned on. so that I do get a notification anytime something comes up in that skill area. So you could definitely put that on if that's something that you're um, interested in. Maybe there's a software or design program or something like that that could be helpful. Maybe you're interested in photography. That's something that could come up too. Notifications, you can get notifications on kind of your top picks and so on and so forth. Whatever. I also don't find this super helpful, but uh, there's your profile. It's basically the same thing as is across the top banner, but your settings are here and the help center is here. And you can also get out to your LinkedIn profile if you want to. So that can be important. This thing, the globe with the EN, this is where language is. So if you'd like to change the language, you can go ahead and do that. And then this is just the courses from the organization, which there are none. So, which is kind of sad. Um, so I'll just go back home here. Um, you will also see if we skip down towards the bottom here that it's sort of curating some courses for me to look at based on what I've searched, the things I have saved. I can also see what's trending. Just because you have this have full access to this as a University of Wisconsin Superior faculty, staff, or student doesn't mean you have to stick in your lane. You can learn about anything, right? So if I'm interested in learning more about addiction, maybe I would, look at this. If I want to get better at managing my finances, I could look at this course here. Um, and I can continue to scroll down and down. If I want to learn more about making better PowerPoint presentations, anything like that. Virtual interviewing, where did that go? All of those sorts of things. There's just tons of stuff here that could be super useful, and then it's going to continue, curating based on that skill that I put in uh, of career development, trending in higher ed because that's where I work. All of that sort of stuff. It's just going to pull as much as it can to try to pull me in. So sometimes this is a great way to find things too. Um, Notice that on LinkedIn, and I'm going to go back out to my profile here. Actually, oh, shoot. It's pulling from my last search on LinkedIn. Okay, just go to my general LinkedIn. I just wanted to point out how you can list any of these courses on your LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to go to me. I'm going to go to view profile. And I'm going to shoot down to the bottom. Hold on, don't get sick. And in this accomplishments area, you can add certain pieces here. Notice in the courses, the things that I have taken. Writing for social media was a LinkedIn course. So I can go in and put LinkedIn learning after this. I just figured out actually how to do this last night. So that's one thing you could do is you can list those courses on your LinkedIn profile and people know then that you've got that skill. A lot of these other ones are massive open online courses, also known as MOOCs, that I've taken just to kind of boost what I know and some of it, honestly, to keep my teaching licenses. So that's a little bit more about LinkedIn Learning. Really great resource for professional development and getting your skills up to date, advancing your skills, which is called upskilling, and all of those sorts of things. They can really help you get a competitive edge, especially if you're looking at a job announcement and you're like, wait a second, I don't exactly know how to use, Adobe Lightroom with all the function that I should. Let's put that application in and let's take that course before I interview so that I can feel a little bit more confident. So I think that's it for this session of LinkedIn Learning, and that completes the Leveraging LinkedIn Career Series. I want to thank everyone for attending, and I'm going to stop the recording now.